As you can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can build your chest at home, which means no equipment and just an empty space that you would have, for example, in your living room. So it's pretty much simple exercises, but I'll be breaking down how to do them correctly so that you can get those chest gains. Without further ado, let's get straight into it with the first exercise. So for the first exercise, we're just going to be doing standard push-ups, which basically means keeping your hips, your feet and your shoulders in a diagonal line. As you can see right now, they're in a perfectly straight line, and all I'm going to do from here is lower my chest to the point where it gets slowly above the ground. 1, 2, and push up explosively. 1, 2, push up. 1, 2, push up. The reason why you want to do 2 seconds on the way down is because it means you're going to be able to have good control over your upper body, and then when you push back up, you want to do that quickly so that you can build strength and power, and you're actually activating your fast twitch muscle fibers as well. So it is a basic push-up, but it doesn't mean that it won't work, especially if you start to do reps and sets up to 20. Especially if you can do 3 sets of 20 with this form, you're going to start building some really good strength. And for those of you who can't do standard push-ups, just go on your knees like this, cross your feet behind you, and you can do the same thing so that you can build strength. 1, 2, push up, 1 second. 1, 2, push up, 1. And for the grip, you want to take your hands, put them in line with your shoulders, and then go just slightly outside of that. So as you can see here, my arm, right, this would be shoulder width, completely straight. I'm going to go just outside so you can activate your chest a little bit more, and you can see even though I'm not in a press up position, you can still see my tricep is fully active. So you can definitely make good gains with just a basic press up, if anything else. But let's move on to the second exercise. So the basic press up is going to work your chest, triceps and shoulders evenly. So 30% on each, or 33% if you want to be more accurate. And the wide push up is basically a different variation, because instead of going slightly outside shoulder width, you're going to go quite a bit outside shoulder width, if that makes sense. What you want to do is basically take your shoulder width, then go out a little bit for a standard press up, and then even further by the same distance for the wide press up. So now that my hands are in the perfect position, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Keep my hips up so that there's a diagonal line between my shoulders, my hips and my feet. Then I'm going to go on my toes and then brace my core, and then 2 seconds on the way down, 1 second on the way up. What this is going to do is going to really target your chest. So if your goal is to work predominantly your chest, give the wide push-ups a go, but just bear in mind that you can actually go too wide. So for example, if I was to go like that, you know, that's a bit too wide. So what you want to do is take the shoulder width, go slightly outside, and then do it again by the same distance, so you can get your wide push-ups in and you can get a more targeted chest workout. Let's go on to the third exercise. So the third progression is called an archer push-up. So in archery, for example, you get a bow and arrow and you go like that. So this is where this exercise gets its name from, just in case anyone wants to know. And pretty much it's going to isolate your chest, but it's also going to work a lot of your core, which is why I like it personally, because anytime you work your core, it's a good idea, because core helps you with other exercises as well. So to do the archer press up, if you've never done it, you will require some technique and learning a bit about how it's actually done. But essentially you want to take your standard push-up grip and then rotate your hands outwards, but you do not want to keep a narrow stance like this. You actually want to go very wide. So when I say very wide, I actually mean very wide. So because the problem is, if you go too narrow, you're not going to be able to actually go down, you'll get stuck here. So the point is, you have to go very wide. And in terms of how wide you have to go, it really depends on how long your arms are. So the longer your arms are, the more you're going to have to spread your hands apart. But for me, this is a good distance, and I'm only showing it for the demonstration on my knees. I will do it properly afterwards. But the archer push-up, if you don't know, is basically a push-up where you go to one side, you straighten out the arm that's not working, and then you push off pretty much with one arm. So like I said before, you're doing like an archery type of motion. So you're going down to one side, lengthening the arm that's not pushing, and then with this arm I'll push back up and I'll go to the other side. It does take a little bit of practice with the technique, but you will get it over time. And one of the things that helped me to learn it is basically not asking too much on myself. So what I mean by that is, when you're starting out with this exercise, don't expect to just do the reps like somebody who has been practicing for a good amount of time. Instead, take it slow, be patient, and do this exercise. So what I did was, I got quite frustrated that I wasn't able to kind of do the reps smoothly, even though I could do basic press-ups. And the reason for that is, it's just a lack of patience. So if I was you, what I'll do is I'll go down to one side and then just hold it here. Get used to holding at the hardest point in the range of motion. And then, it will be a bit sloppy when you get back up, but then what you do is you go down to the other side and you hold again. So what this is going to do, as I said, archer push-up is really good for your chest, but what this is mainly going to do is it's just going to get you basically practicing the technique and getting used to holding at the bottom position, which for 99% of people is the hardest position and why they struggle with the archer push-up. But it will also work your core, so give the exercise a try to boost your level and your strength. Alright, for this variation you will require a sofa or a coffee table or an elevated surface, which I'm sure everybody has at home. So I'm trying to stick to the rule that there is no excuses with this video. So what you want to do is just take a standing press up position just outside shoulder width. So shoulder width just outside. Place your feet on the sofa, and from here you want to go down and do the push-ups. This is going to be harder than when your feet are on the floor because you have added core activation. But with that being said, make sure you're not doing them like this. So right now there's no core activation whatsoever. So you want to push into the ground, bring your hips up, and try to keep your hips in line with your shoulders. It won't be easy, but the point is to have that nice straight line between your feet, all the way up to your hips, and then all the way up to your shoulders. 2 seconds on the way down, 1 second on the way up. And if you do want to target a bit more chest, go a bit wider for those, because you can also do that. Let's move on to the next variation. Alright, so for this variation, you may have noticed I'm starting with a chair, which I'm sitting on, but that is not what I'm going to be doing. The chair is actually going to be used for us to hold on to while we do this exercise. So this exercise is an assisted dip, and the reason you want to do the assisted dip is clearly because you're at home, so you probably don't have a dip station, and if you're starting out, this is a good exercise to get going and get your fitness journey up and running. So what you want to do is take the chair or the coffee table or any surface that is at a certain height, which is I would say, if I stand up about knee height is good, and then because you do want to have an elevated surface, you don't want to be doing it too low because otherwise you can't go all the way down. But basically, take your hands, place them on the chair just like this, place your feet straight in front, and then slowly lower down, back up. This exercise is really going to stretch out your chest, and the key is keep your feet together like this. You don't want to be doing it like that. Keep your feet together, point your toes up, and then down, push up, down, push up. It's quite simple, but make sure that you're going all the way down. As you can see here, my hips are just above the ground. And if you want to make it slightly harder, instead of just going down and up like this, which is already good, you can actually go down, hold it, 1, 2, 3, and then push back up. That is a really good exercise for your chest and your triceps, and give it a go. The narrower you go, if you go really narrow like that, for example, you'll be working more on your tricep, and if you go a bit wider, you'll be working a bit more on your chest. So give those a go, assisted dips. Alright, so all the variations that I've just shown are quite good for building muscle, and they are controlled movements. But this next variation is going to be more of a dynamic movement, and it's going to be more of a plyometric movement, meaning you're going to have to be explosive, and you can do the exercise fast, and you can't really do it slowly, because what the exercise is a clap push-up. A lot of you may have seen people doing clap push-ups already, but there is a technique to it, and it's not just about power. So first things first is take a grip that is just outside shoulder width. With clap push-ups, if you do them very narrow, when you push up, there's not much of a, as you can see, my hands are already pretty much clapping in a way, because they're so close to each other, so you don't actually need to push up that much. You'll just push up a little bit, clap, and come back down. So it doesn't really make sense. It takes off the entire challenge of it. And then if you take a really wide grip, it's going to be a bit dangerous for your shoulders, because as you push down, when you come back up, your hands are so wide, so you're putting your shoulders in a compromised position a little bit already. So trying to clap right on top of that, it's going to damage your shoulders over time. So take a shoulder width just outside, and as with a normal press up, keep your hips aligned in a diagonal line with your shoulders and your feet. And then, because we're doing a clap, we can't just be in that same mind frame that we are in when we're doing a normal press up, where we just go down and back up. We're trying to achieve, we're trying to go airborne. We're trying to push off to the point where our hands leave the floor and we clap. So the mentality and the mindset at the top of this push-up is different. So you want to be as explosive as possible. So that being said, if you do have any injuries in your shoulders or anything like that, or the ground is slippery, avoid this exercise because you might injure yourself. So basically outside shoulder width, and then from here all I'm thinking about is pushing down as explosively as possible. So as you can see that I'm absorbing my weight, and then as soon as I get to the point where I can't go down anymore, that's when I really think about pushing the ground away from me in order to get my body up. So if you've never done a clap push-up, that's just a quick hack. Don't think about pushing your body up, think about pushing the ground away from you, and that will cause your body to come up. And that's a clap push-up. And the final exercise is going to be a slow negative push-up. The reason why you want to do it with a slow negative is because the most muscle damage takes place on the descent. And if you're interested in just growing the size of your chest, and you're not interested in explosiveness or core or anything like that, this is the best variation that you can do. So take a just outside shoulder width hand position, and all you're going to do is, instead of going down for 2 seconds and back up for 1, like a standard push-up, you're going to go down for 5 seconds and then back up for 1. So as you go down, you're going to start to feel more and more resistance, because you're lengthening the time under tension, which is going to be key to growing that bigger, stronger chest. So if you just want to get a bigger chest, this is the best variation that you can do. So start here, and then 5 seconds down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what you want to do is actually count like this as well, because sometimes you start to go down and you only go down for 3 seconds, because your body's going to take the path of least resistance. It's going to go for a lower amount of seconds on the way down to make it easier. So you want to count out loud, or have somebody else count out loud for you while you're doing it, so you can make sure, because each second is going to make a difference. So you might do your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's say you're getting towards the end of the set, then you're going to say, but that was only 3 seconds. So that's the point. You want to count out loud to make sure that every single rep is being done the same. And yeah, pretty much that's all the push-up variations that I've been doing at home to grow my chest. As you can see, I've got some decent results from it, so if you like this video, subscribe and stay on the lookout for more calisthenics tips and tricks videos. Take care.